Well, so my vortex Hatsan Edge 22 was acting up. Thought it was the scope, thought it went. Come to find out, it was the pivot screw for the barrel. It was either coming, well, it must have come loose. So I had to take it apart, retighten it, and now I'm back to hitting again. 85 yards. I started off with the Diablo field. Okay. I do have a strong crosswind, but I switched over to the jumbo and really started hitting. These were actually fitting a little loose in the edge, so the JSBs were a nice snug fit. So 85 yards, not perfect, but bright as heck out here after that storm, so everything is a sheet of ice. I would drive down here, but I almost couldn't stop last time, so I'm just gonna slide along. I believe I have my Hammers 4x12 on there, 40 AO. I can't remember what magnification was on there, but I had it said that. But it was hitting pretty good. For what was it, $54 refurbished gun. And not too bad. I started getting some good groupings there. Those were the JSBs there. And that's a solid chunk of ice in there. 16 grain at 85 yards. Still good enough to take out a rabbit, squirrel, anything else. So yeah, those were hitting pretty good. In the, well, one good thing when sighting in, I could see where the ice was breaking, and you could see which way the wind was blowing, and blowing off to the left. So once in a while I'd try to compensate, and then the wind wouldn't be there, so I'd get a few over to the side. But overall, not too bad. 85 yards considering for a $58 or $54 refurbished steer gun. Good to have the gun back though. I was getting like 15-inch spread and that was at like 40 yards. So glad the gun's back together, and if anyone has a issue with accuracy, I would definitely check that pivot screw and make sure you snug it up. So that's all for today on this lovely cold day, probably about 20 degrees out.